My name is Shirley Lorraine Jones. Not the famous Shirley Jones, but Shirley Lorraine Jones Winkler. I met Art Aragon up in Stockton, California, while he was making Fat City. He came up to me, took my hand and kissed it, and asked me to go out to dinner with him, which I said yes. He said he was Art Aragon, and he was in the movie Fat City, and that he was Babe, and I didn't understand. But anyway, we went out to dinner, and from there on and many times, and I fell in love with him, plain and simple. I do have his daughter. I had his daughter. I have his daughter, and Art would want me to come forth and show you pictures of her. She's absolutely stunning. She's beautiful. She looks exactly like Art. I did have paternity tests done at UCLA Paternity Testing Laboratory in 1987. Not because I didn't know who the father was, because I put my little baby, she was like 2 or 3 days old, in Art's arms, and it was a moment that we both shared, considering the circumstances around us. I was married to somebody else, and he was too. And when I gave birth to April, my former husband, David Winkler, was staring me down at the hospital, which David Winkler did not pay the hospital bill. I had to go to the Stockton San Joaquin County Hospital to give birth to April, but I couldn't be with Art, and Art couldn't be with me. And afterwards, I went down to Los Angeles, and I put our little daughter in his arms, and sat right next to him on the couch, and we were both happy. She looks so much like him. She looks exactly like Art. I read once where an illegitimate child has a right to know their father. And so I throughout the years, I talked to Art, and Art asked me to put his name on April's birth certificate, and he really wanted her. And I would like to write a book. I'm writing a book. I'm getting ahead of myself. Anyway, I did ask for paternity testing at UCLA, and then they excluded Art as being her father. However, they were supposed to be the state of the art, but they closed their doors down about 6 months later. And I had asked a friend of mine, Attorney J. Davison, could I go down there and see my file at the paternity laboratory testing at UCLA, and he said, Shirley, you have the right to go see your file anytime you want. So I went down to UCLA Paternity Testing Laboratory, and they gave me the file, and I opened up the file, and there was a big note in there that said, this is a good one for experiment. So I guess kind of what I'm saying is we were experiments. And then they closed their laboratory down. Judge Black was the judge in the matter, and he would not allow me to have a second opinion at a different laboratory. He made me go back to UCLA, and I had an expert from North Carolina. I flew him in, and he would not allow him to speak at the hearing. So it was against my right not to have a second opinion at a different laboratory. Then Art's last wife died, Billy, and about 5 years ago, and Art called me, and he called Attorney J. Davison, and I said, and then he asked for me, and J. Davison called me and I called Art, and Art said he wanted to see me. I said, why? He said, for sentimental reasons. So I did go. I talked to J. Davison. He said, go see him. And I went up to see Art, and then sometimes we would talk, and And he'd finish the sentence and he'd say, "Our daughter." I said, "Yes, our daughter," when I was talking about April. And then April went to see him, tried to go up to see Art, and a close member of Art Aragon's family tried to have sex with my daughter. And one night my daughter took her children and she spent one night with Art Aragon at Art Aragon's house. And the next morning, another member of Art's family came in and jumped all over, and Art wanted to take her to breakfast, and this member of this family, she jumped all over April about the blood tests, and April didn't know what to say first herself. So she packed up and she moved to Arizona. She was deeply hurt by the way the Aragon family treated her. Art wanted her. Art was a person that loved children. He adopted two girls, from what I read. He loved children and he wanted April. He cried over April. He cried and he asked me whose name was on the birth certificate, and I had to tell him David Winkler's. And he cried and he made a fist and he cried. And he says, "Does she know I'm her daddy?" I said, "Yes, Art, she knows." He said, "Well, have her call me." He wanted to see her. Shortly before Art died, he called me. He begged me to come over and see him. He said, "I'm so lonely. I am so lonely. And I feel so bad." Anyway, I want to show you I want to write a book. I have a script for a book, and even if I have to give it to Steve Edwards to promote my book, I will. Even we're looking at publishers today. We have a little granddaughter that has cerebral palsy. She'll be right back.
You like your new chair, Nadia?
We don't know the longevity that she has in this world. Her little legs are really small and narrow, and her legs and her arms are real stiff.
Hey, bro, how are you going to manage when she gets bigger, dear? I feel
But
so
we
sorry
love this
for
little girl. Her name is Nadia. And April, I want to give the proceeds of my book to April if she'll take it. Because she needs a van with a lift on it, because Nadia's getting pretty big. She's 9 going on 10. Too big for April to carry. And also I'd like to get April a house where everything is on one floor, so April, for little Nadia, could drive her little motorized wheelchair. She'll be right back.
You like your new chair, Nadia?
Around. April has steps in her condominium, and she's kind of hard to carry her up and down steps. I'm going to show you pictures of Nadia.
Sing.
I don't know, but he said airline.
Sing.
And pictures of April, what she's accomplished for her. Herself. And I know she does not know that I'm putting this up. And she's not asking for money. April doesn't want any money from the Aragons, and because of the way they treated her. So I'm going to show you some clips. April does not know I'm putting these up.
Let's do the movie thing. No, I want to get a picture of that badge. Raise that thing up a little bit, April.
Get up and take a picture, would you?
Look at April. This is what she's all about. Nadia. Mwah. Here, let me get the door, April. Oh, good.
Bye. But I'm going to tell her I'm not going to keep anything from her. Called this Lois Gibson, who works for the Houston Police Department, And I sent her the results of the paternity test. I don't have nothing to hide. And I sent her pictures of my former husband. And these, you will see the results, and you can look at them and read them. You look at, if you have ever known art, and you will see Art Aragon in my daughter, plain and simple. She looks just like Art Aragon.